the moment that is very closest to my heart, and maybe because it is really recent, it will be the IPL 2020, that we were able to pull it off in such tough circumstances, and the fact that I had the honor of being a part of that team that pulled it off.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of the interview series by Explore Sports Management, and today we have Mr. Nishant Pai Vaidya who will be talking about the sports media side of the industry. Mr. Nishant is a sports anchor, writer and a media professional. He has worked as a media manager of IPL for consecutively from 2017 till 2020. Previously, he has also been the media manager of the Tamil Nadu Premier League in 2016 and 17. He has covered various international sporting events and has interviewed some of the biggest names in the sports world like Rahul Dravid, Kevin Peterson, Glenn McGrath, Matthew Hayden, Stephen Fleming, Harbhajan Singh, just to name a few. So, welcome Nishant sir. Thank you for joining us for the interview. It's a pleasure to have you for the interview. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Always happy to interact with students and to pass on whatever I can, because it's all ultimately all about sharing the knowledge that we have.
Okay, thank you so much. So, sir, this session is about sports media and how one can make a career in this field. And so, just to start off this session, can you briefly explain to our viewers what exactly is sports media management and their role in a sports event?
So there are different aspects to sports media management, and that's what people have to understand, that it's very different from a normal public relations thing. I mean, people confuse PR and media management, but there's a difference. That's what I like to personally believe, because you see there are PR firms or PR agencies and they manage a wide range of clients, but for sports media management, it is very specific, and you need to have proper knowledge of the sport, because without the knowledge of the sport, it is very difficult otherwise to actually manage the media with that keeping that in mind. So there are different ways or different facets to this, and one is obviously as a sports media manager, you could be managing a team or an athlete, their media affairs, their interviews, the way they are portrayed in the media, a little bit of the social media element, how an athlete or a team is to be portrayed in front of the world. And also then it can be from a tournament perspective. You could do the same at a larger level for a tournament, like looking at in terms of what media commitments there are, how to manage that and everything. So there is no definition as such. It is just that you have to manage whatever media related stuff a tournament, athlete or a team demands of you.
Now we are seeing sort of a transformation that we see, that is from television to OTT platforms, and now broadcasting is happening on social media as well. So now where do you see this will go on ahead, and what it looks for like the future of sports media? What's your view on that?
It's already moved around quite a bit, because when we were growing up, at least I was, I'm a little elder to you, I've got to remember that. At least when we were growing up, it was all about newspapers and, them having a stronghold in terms of media. But it has changed so much. Then came the news channels. News channels are still around, but now even the web media has really changed the game completely all over the globe. If you see, there are YouTube channels, there are websites, there are social media handles, all have literally changed the game. So the game has moved from this to a digital level, and what it has also done is that it has changed the style of narrative, in a sense that earlier sports persons needed the media, the news channels, the newspapers. They needed them, because then if they wanted to reach out to the fan, they wanted to give out a statement, they had to approach them. But right now, a player or a sports team or anyone, they can reach out to thousands or millions of people just through the social media. So that is how it has really revolutionized the way sports media management or sports media is concerned. But it is a very fluid thing, because it will keep changing with time in terms of technological advancements and all. And when it comes to OTT or others, on ground, the commitments as such may not change as much, but it is just the pace at which it is moving that has changed. In, like, for example, you give an interview to a newspaper, it comes out tomorrow morning. But right now, you give an interview to a website or do even a video. You can do a live video online, and millions are seeing it. You could even you can even give an interview to a web journalist, and he could possibly write it in half an hour. So that turnaround time has also reduced in a lot of ways. So there are different ways in which the web media has actually changed the game for all of us.
So, sir, for a big sports event like, say, Indian IPL or for international matches, a major chunk of the revenue is that comes from media and broadcasting, and we are talking about like hundreds and crores of rupees. And the people are watching from several countries as well. So and a lot of it is dependent upon you and your team of media managers, like what is broadcast and how it goes there to everyone. So does that add any pressure to you while working, or does that hover over your mind while working?
Not really, because there are processes set, and once your processes are set and you follow it, then you don't really have to worry about it. And ultimately, everyone is professional enough to know that there are certain things that need to be done. The teams are professional, the players are professional, they sign contracts in terms of them giving a certain amount of time to media in terms of broadcast and everything, the interviews, etc. So with the professionalization, there isn't much to worry. It is just that you have to be very careful. You should know all the rules. And once you have the knowledge, you have the knack, and you know how to manage it well, you don't feel the pressure. And ultimately, the beauty of the sports industry is such that everybody is helping the other one out. And it is all working in collaboration even on the field. So there isn't pressure. It is just that you want to see that the best possible thing that is in the interest of everyone is done. So I wouldn't say there is pressure as such. Of course, sometimes it can linger in your mind. You know what is at stake, but if that is going to be there, it is going to cloud your judgment. Like, for example, when you're chasing a target in a tense game and you need 40 of, say, 3 overs, you are not going to think about the last ball. You're going to think about the ball that's immediately right in front of you, right? So it is all about that. So there could be pressure, there could be tough times, yes, but then ultimately over time you know how to handle it and you know how to do it. Like, I remember feeling the pressure maybe during my first or second game when I got into the role, but later on it was quite fine. There are challenges from time to time, but with experience you learn how to tackle them.
So, sir, what would you say would be the top skills required to pursue sports media and to excel later in this field?
Depends on what you want to do in sports media. It is such a vast thing. Now, I've done a lot of things. Like, I've been a media manager. I also work as a sports anchor. I've been a cricket correspondent. I've written stuff. So I would say it is always good to master all the skills. Not exactly master, you never master them, but try to be the best version of yourself in each one of them. Like, if you learn how to write, read a lot on sports, when you're watching sports, notice the little things and try to make a note of them, at least mentally. And the skills, I think, that will really help everyone is reading and writing, because that forms the bedrock of everything. If you are able to write well, it really helps you a lot. And then after a while, obviously your own speaking skills also improve, and you need to have your own confidence. But knowing the sport is important, which is why I tell everyone that read up a lot about sports, read up different sports books, read autobiographies, read books about history of sport and of different sports, and that will really help you. And the other thing that is really critical is people skills, because in sports it's all about people. You're dealing with people essentially everywhere. So how you manage people, everybody has got a different nature, everybody has got a different way of working. How will you manage that sort? So it is all about that. I think over time you do learn about how to deal with that, but it is also about being a sponge and having the ability to learn every single day. And that learning is what essentially takes you forward.
So, sir, a lot of young people who are interested in sports media, but they don't know what to do, how they should start. For say, like example, an 18-year-old who wants to enter into this field, how would we advise him? Where should he begin, and what should he do next in his life to sort of go into sports?
When you're 18, there's a lot of time. There's a lot you can do. Your mind is sharper. There's a lot more you can learn. And as I say, it is all about being a sponge, right? So you are essentially a sponge at that time. In a sense, you leave a sponge in water and it just soaks it all in. So an 18-year-old is something like that. You leave him or her in a place where he or she can learn a lot. They'll just soak everything in. Which is why I suggest that start reading immediately. Start reading, and now because we've got the way I started with a blog, a simple blog, and I started writing about sport. And that is how my career began essentially. I didn't know at the time where it will take me, but I started it. So when you're 18, you've got all the tools. You're an adult. You can start a blog online. You can start something on YouTube. You can just start. Start a Facebook page, start anything, but at least start. And once you start, you keep learning. I mean, fine, your first blog may be bad. You may not be able to get the sentences together, but try to learn every day. Don't get disheartened. It is a long journey. You're not going to master it in one day. It is all about taking one step at a time. Like I give people the example that Tendulkar did not score 18,000 ODI runs and 15,000 test runs in a single day. Where he started in the Maidans, every run that he scored for Shardashram eventually led him to scoring all those runs for India at the highest level and winning the World Cup. So those runs for Shardashram were also very important. So look at it that way. You're getting those experiences at the lower level, at school level or college level. Look at it that way and start writing, start reading, learn every single thing about sport. That is how I will say. You never know how the journey will pan out because it's very different for everyone. But this is how you start. This is what I think.
You should just start doing it what you like and just get involved in as much as you can. And that's the crux of it.
Absolutely, because that is how I started. I loved cricket. I wanted to do something about it, but I was studying my law. But I wanted to do something about cricket. I just started writing a blog. And the way I didn't know at the time, but because I was consistent, because I was really committed to it, it did go on to change my life in a matter of months. And I started a blog in 2009, but I didn't take it up seriously till 2011. But when I started taking it very seriously, within 2 months, avenues opened up. Within 2 months, the opportunities started coming in. So it is all about having that consistency and the discipline. What we see in sports persons, you want to get into the sports industry, show the same discipline and the commitment to your job. That is what I always say.
I know you have touched upon this, you started writing a blog, but just want to know how did you start your journey and how it went on from, the transformation from studying law to into sports, and what happened after you started writing the blog. And can you just go through that once? Your journey.
Yes, I remember it was during the 2011 World Cup, and as you may remember, it was at home, and there was all this buzz about the World Cup being contested in India, and it is Sachin Tendulkar's final chance, and he was someone you all looked up to, and he was saying at the time, I'm still chasing my dream and all that sort of stuff. And I looked at him and I was like, look, there's this guy who has achieved everything in international cricket, and yet he wants to achieve that biggest dream which has eluded him for a longest time, and he's 37. So I felt, ultimately life is about chasing what you really want to do, and I really wanted to do something in cricket in terms of the media. I wanted to be a sports presenter. I wanted to write about the sport. What could I do? I didn't have any avenue. I was in a law school. I used the internet. I started writing a blog. And just as luck would have it, I don't know what it is, but there is something out there that, opens doors for you. Like I started writing a blog, immediately a door opened for me. Like someone introduced me to my then mentor, who was heading a website called Cricket Country, and he asked me to write for Cricket Country. And that was Z's website. So getting that platform at such a young age, at the age of 20, really helped me and really transformed me. And then the opportunities just started. At 22, I did a couple of shows on national television, and then 2013, after I finished my law, I joined Cricket Country full time. And the opportunities kept coming, because then I got to cover the World Cup in Bangladesh, which was the T20 World Cup in 2014. Under 19 World Cup I covered in the UAE. Then I traveled to Australia the next year. and I just decided to quit my job because I wanted to go freelance and work for different media houses. And then suddenly an IPL franchise, which was there at the time called Gujarat Lions, contacted me and they wanted me to be their media manager. And I felt, wow, for a 25-year-old guy to manage the media for an IPL franchise with guys like Suresh Raina, Brendan McCullum, Heath Streak, Brad Hodge. They were there in the coaching staff, those two. And there's Dale Steyn, there's Ravindra Jadeja, all these guys. And you're getting to manage them. I'm like, this opportunity you cannot pass up. So I just took it up from there. And that's what eventually, things just open up after you take those initial steps. And that is what exactly happened for me. And with Gujarat Lions, then the door to the IPL opened up. And eventually it does lead to a lot of other things as well.
Yeah, that's a really inspiring journey for everyone who wants to aspire to be in the field. So, sir, can you just share some experience of yours, like one of the highlighting moments of your career that you've experienced so far? Can you share any of such moments like that?
Well, it is difficult. I mean, in terms of me personally, I would always remember my first ever national television appearance, my first article that ever appeared online. So those are the moments that you remember. But then some things that you cherish is in media management, the kind of relationships that you build. And if people respect you, that is something that you really, really value. And the moment that is very closest to my heart, and maybe because it is really, really recent, it will be the IPL 2020 that we were able to pull it off in such tough circumstances, and the fact that I had the honor of being a part of that team that pulled it off. I think that will always be very close to my heart because we did it against all odds, and we were able to bring a smile to people's faces, I believe, at a time when it was really tough. Even though momentarily, in the evenings, they could possibly leave their troubles behind and just watch a game of cricket, and we were able to do that. I think that is something that will always be very close to my heart.
Yeah, that did give us pleasure. I mean, even us, it gave us something to look forward to every night, every evening to watch IPL. I mean, we waited for it for so long. Okay, so moving on to next question. So when we talk about sports media, a basic sort of a myth or assumption comes to mind is that you get to go around with players, hang out with them, chill with them, and you are on the field, and you are in the walkie-talkies and all. So that's the basic assumption, and that's what interests people to opt for this field. So how true is that? I mean, is that thinking correct to go into this? I mean, is that?
I remember I had attended a session in which was conducted by ISM itself in 2019, I think, and Professor Shetty had come in. And Professor Ratnakar Shetty, as you know, is one of the eminent administrators who was with the BCCI for a really long time. And he's someone I've really learned a lot from. And Professor Shetty made a point and he said, people think that, you get to hang out with cricketers, so this is what you want to do. But ultimately, you just realize that they are human beings. It's not like you're going to be around them the whole time. After your job is done, you're going to go home, you're going to do a lot of things. But it is, at the end of the day, if you ask yourself, have you done something really constructive? Have you done something that is really worthwhile? Have you done something that has added and that has given you fulfillment or satisfaction? That is what should be the main aim. After a while, the stars in your eyes are going to disappear. Then it's going to be really normal in terms of going around them, in terms of walking around them, or them calling you by first name. It's going to be very normal after a while. What will keep it going in the long, which is why a lot of people also fall by the wayside after a while, because they just come in with all these things, all these ideas that they're going to be in with celebrities, with sports persons. But it is all about excellence as well in the job that you do. You need to have that satisfaction and the fulfillment that you have done something and you have contributed to sport. And if the sport itself is your passion, that is what's going to take you forward. Not the craze for a cricketer, not the craze for a badminton player, not the craze for a football player. It is the passion for the sport that is going to take you.
So, sir, moving on to the last question. So, what is that one piece of advice you would give to any sports management, aspiring sports manager? It need not be in sports media, but just aspiring to work in sports industry. One piece of advice.
I will say the biggest thing is think like a sportsman, or think like a sportswoman, because the kind of excellence that is demanded of them to be perfect, near perfect on the day with their performance, the mindset, the commitment, that is what is what is always fascinating me. And I think that is the kind of attitude that every professional in the sports industry should have, because that is the kind of excellence that will take you forward. Keep a harm, because there are no half measures when it comes to sports persons. You should also have no half measures. You should give it completely. You should have that kind of commitment. So I think to work in the sports industry and to excel, you need to have the mindset of a sports person.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. The part 2 of the interview will be coming soon, that is next week. And make sure you subscribe to this channel and like the video and share it with your friends whom you think this will be helpful. Thank you. See you soon.